What's going on, guys? Alright, welcome to part 2 on the 6R80 swap on the Foxbody coupe here. So today in this video we're going to work on getting the valve body out, only because I'm not sure I told you on the last video or not. I was going to do a thermostat bypass for the cooler lines. I decided I'm going to go ahead and do it. I mean, while the transmission's out of the car, there's a little transmission fluid in it. So, going to go ahead and swap that out so we'll have constant flow going to the cooler. We'll keep this transmission nice and cool. So, I believe there's 11 bolts, T30, which would be these bigger bolts here. We're going to pull all 11 out. But first, I'll get a little ahead of myself. We got to pull this plug out here. By doing that, we'll pull this pin or this little connector here. Should push in and pop out. And once you do that, this whole plug should come out with it. So we'll do that first. We'll go ahead and take all the bolts out, and the valve body should come right out. So first, I think what I need to do is I need to find me a clean surface to put the valve body. I may just put me a piece of cardboard or something right here on the floor and keep it clean. But also want to note too is these guys right here, these are all solenoids. Do not want to touch those, especially on the connector side. They're very low voltage, a static electricity. If you just shock it with your body, you basically fry it. It's no good, so you got to replace it. So you want to avoid touching those. I do want to look at this lead tray, or this lead, I guess you want to call it lead tray here. They were recalling these back in on the first couple of years. Basically having you transmission fluid starts getting older and older and older. You start getting, material in the fluids and the metal material, and it's causing to short these solenoids out. And these speed sensors, you can't see it, there's a speed sensor in here. It was causing issues with that as well. Basically what happened is speed sensor, so say you're driving 70 miles an hour down the highway and your speed sensor doesn't know what speed you're doing anymore, and usually it goes to 0. So when it does that, transmission thinks you're come to a stop, but realistically you're doing 60 miles an hour and a transmission will go all the way down to first gear and it could cause an accident. So I think they fixed it. I think 14, 15 up, I believe. They fixed it, and they also think they did a firmware update on the ECU for. So if that does happen, the transmission will just shift into neutral. So I'm not gonna mess with mine. I'm just gonna just look over it, see what it looks like, see if there's actually been anything done to it. But yeah, let's get a clean surface put down. I think I got a piece of cardboard or something, and we'll get started on this. Alright, so we're going to zip out the big bolts. You can tell which one are big, which one's small. The small ones are that holds the valve body together. The big one pulls the big bolts, the T30 hex or star, big one call it. Basically unbolts it from the transmission. But first we got to release this clip here, and we got to get this plug out before we do anything. So there's a little white clip here. Push it down, or push it over, should push it back and pull up. Alright, should come out just like that. Should just slide right on out. Gonna be replacing this, I got a new one. Alright, now we're gonna unbolt the transmission. Or unbolt the, now we're gonna unbolt the valve body. So on the back side, it's got 3 short bolts. Alright, so should have all 11 out now. And this whole valve body should come right up. Give myself a clean service there, put it on. Hold that right here. Alright, with the valve body out, we can actually get a closer look of everything. This seal right here is for the pump, for the transmission. The pumps the fluid throughout the transmission and everything. Looks like the original seal here, and you also got 3 other seals here. So everything looks pretty good from what I can see. I mean, there ain't much to it. It ain't like their transmissions, you got servos and all that other crap. But I'm just going to get my rag and just get some of this old transmission fluid out. And we're going to replace this seal and these seals here. And the thermostat I was talking about is this guy right here. So when you have this car, or when you have this transmission up in the car, obviously it's going to be turned around. This will just flop right on out. And when you put these back in, it is suggested to put grease on them just so it'll stay in place. Another thing I want to mention too, this is your shifter lever here. Right now I have it in park, so when I put it back in, I have to line it up. This guy right here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it goes between this guy right here. That's what tells it what gear is it in. So, and this guy right here is your lock. This is what locks the transmission. So when you put it in park, you hear that little clicking sound? That's what this guy is right here. Just locks the transmission up. I mean, it's pretty cool. You can see the clutches and stuff in it. You can't see everything, but everything looks pretty good. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to try and clean some of this up. And we'll get my new seals I got, and we'll make sure everything matches up. Alright, so this is the new seal that goes right here on the transmission. This is, like I said, this is for the pump. And like I said, this is the new one, and this is the old one. This has never been changed out, so I got the Ford numbers and everything on it. It looks OEM, and it actually looks really good. So basically comparing these two, I don't know if you can see that or not. This new one's a little bit thicker. Not just the rubber seals and all, the actual case itself, the plastic case, is thicker than the stock one here. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna use this one because, like I said, it's I think it's too thick. I think it's gonna cause a sealing issue. So I'm not gonna use it. This is also not an OEM part either. So this is actually shares between, supposedly it says it works on 6R80s and works on BMWs. But just looking at here, even both sides and all, I don't trust it. I think it's too tall. If it was just a tad bit taller, I'll probably go ahead and use it, but it's noticeably taller. So I'm not going to use it. These actually look pretty good too. So I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to, just keep them in. And, Derek would say, pretend we didn't see that. So we're going to just put this bad boy back in like so. It just clips back in place. Make sure you got it in correctly. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean this up first before I put it back together. While we're here, this is the thermostat we're gonna pull out. See, it's already coming out now. It just slides around. And this is the new one. This is basically we got off Summit. This is the cheap one. There's other versions. Power by the Hour sells one. I think there's another one as well. I forgot who makes it. But this is like $18 off of Summit, and it's simple. I mean, it all does the same thing. So basically, just it bypasses and allows coolant to go through the system at all times. And plus, you don't have to wait for this transmission to heat up to recheck your fluid again. If you don't know, the stock thermostat here won't allow fluid to run to the cooler to about 194, 200 degrees. So you really have to beat on this transmission to get it warmed up and start pumping fluid to your cooler. So this will basically eliminate all that. As soon as that transmission starts spinning, it starts pumping fluid to the cooler and make the transmission all nice and happy. Doesn't get hot. That's the goal. So I'm probably going to use this. They look identical. You can tell this one's never been changed out either. This is the OEM. It's got the Ford stamp and everything on it. And here's the new one. It looks identical, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. It's got the double seals on it. I'm going to probably put a little lube around these seals here and make sure everything seals up nice and good. And also it's got a groove here that actually lines into the valve body over there. It slides in and you push that little white tab right there back down and you're good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean some of this old dirty transmission fluid out. It's a little dirty. It ain't burnt, but it's dirty. And also want to inspect that valve body and see what it looks like. So like I said, I'm going to pop this one back in. It looks good. There's no cracks or anything in it, so I'm pretty confident it's going to seal up fine. And we can start putting this all back together. Alright, so we're going to take the old thermostat out. Should be really easy to do. There it is right there. And we got our new one here. And according to instructions, it just says to drop it in. Alright, that's all it's to it. So that's basically it. Now we can throw the valve body back in, put our bolts back in and all, and torque it down. got our 3 small bolts going back here. As you can see, I'm just finger tightening everything up. I should guess to say I'm finger starting them, not finger tightening them. And the last one. Alright, now let's get our torque wrench. Alright, got my little mini torque wrench here. We're going to torque these down to 53 inch-pounds. And there's a torque sequence. I actually have a little cheat sheet up here. I'm going to follow. And let's get started. Alright, so this is number 1. It's still kind of loose. Alright, that's 1. Number 2, which would be this one right here. Two, 3. All right, 3, 4. 4 is all the way up here. 4, 5. Is that this one? Yeah, 5. So this one's 5. Thought I might hit one by accident. Alright, 5. 6 will be this one up here, right the furthest one up to the bell housing. 6, 7. 7's on the lead tray here, right back. Alright, 7, 8, the very back one on the lead tray. 8, 9. 9, 10. 11. This is the very bottom one. Alright, so I'm going to go over them again. and make sure they're all good. Good. Alright, so they're all torqued. Then last step is we'll put our new plug in. I'm going to probably get some transmission fluid, go over it, or some WD-40 or something. So slide right in, because I don't really have any transmission lube. So I'm going to put something on it so it slides right in. Alright, so this is our plug right here. This guy go in, so it only goes in one way. Alright, I also want to mention or note here too, you also don't want to touch these pins, because it also will short out these solenoids as well. So this plug will only go in one way, so she'll stick it in. I think you can turn it, and it should slide right in. You want to make sure this is up all the way. You think the groove would be on the bottom or on the top, so I feel like it's right there. I have to move y'all back because I think I have to put some leverage on it. They get it in. Yeah, here it is. So this won't go down unless this is pushed in so far and it kind of slides into its groove. So since I don't have anything to pry on it with, I have to do the best I can. Yeah, see, there's nothing for me to put leverage on it. There we go. Alright. She is seated. Now once this comes all the way down, hopefully the camera's picking it up. Once this is all the way down, this is locked in place. So we're good to go there. Alright guys, well that didn't take too long to do. So next we can go ahead and clean the surface up here. And on the, well, first we gotta put the oil filter on, or transmission filter on. Then we could put the paint on, but we need to make sure we got a good clean surface, transmission and pan, and I got a brand new Pro filter, and we can start bolting the pan back on. All right, so just put a little bit of lube around the little seal here. And it's going to pop in place right here. I'll take a little bit of force and just slide right on in. So there's nothing, you know, this filter doesn't bolt down anything, so it kind of just sits here. And I'm assuming this part probably doesn't touch the bottom of the pan, but just enough. This probably just moves a little bit. But I also want to double check. Also, remember I was talking about the lever here? It does fit inside the transmitter, or there's a little shaker, little gizmo you want to call it. So looks good there. I forgot to show that on video till now. We got that done. Now we got this filter in place. Now we're gonna go around and inspect all of our work before we put this pan back on. Already retorqued everything. It looks good there. Plugs in. this is down all the way, so plugs in all the way. Shifter arm, everything looks good. Everything looks nice and flush on the transmission. Torque down real good, nice and evenly. Yeah, everything looks good. Everything looks like it's down flat and everything. So we're gonna get to clean up the surface here. We'll get some little brake clean that up, and we'll clean up the pan here. Clean it up. It's got a little fluid and stuff in it. Make sure there's no dirt. Magnet looks good. That's already been cleaned anyway, but we'll make sure there ain't no trash in here, and we'll get this bad boy bolted up. I already cleaned the pan, so last I have left to do is clean the surface here on the transmission. We'll make sure we have a nice clean surface for this gasket here. Here's the gasket. It's a Felpro gasket. Used this on my last trans and it worked really well, so we're going to use it again. I believe this is a reusable filter or reusable gasket. Get all my junk here out of the way. Everything all lines up. Put the pan back on, like so. Got my bucket of screws here. They're all the same size. Just go ahead and thread them in. When I do get this transmission in, we will have to pull out two. I don't remember if it's. I think it's back here for the shifter. But like I said, for now we're just gonna put them all in. And once we get the transmission in the car, everything's set up ready for the shifter, we'll put it on. We'll take those two out and we'll put the correct hardware on. Notice this one's longer, so I don't know where I took that out at. Some of it probably goes up here by the bell housing. It looks like that's the only all-ball one. And if I haven't told you by now, these are 5/16 bolts. Kind of a little late telling you now, but you know now. Now I don't know what the torque specs are on these either, so we're gonna find out together as well. I don't remember, but do want to look at this one last bolt right here. I'm curious where it goes, because it looks like it may go somewhere up here. I think it goes there because actually it's sticks right on through. I think be on the safe side, I'm just going to stick it right over here. It doesn't interfere with anything. I'm not sure why that's the only bolt that's longer than the others. It's different too. I wonder if it's been replaced at one time. Alright, let's zip them down, but we're not going to torque them. We're just going to get them down. We'll just get them, you know, semi, not tight, but they're snug a little bit. We're trying to go, we'll skip around here. Because I want to say these are probably like 18 foot-pounds. I know it ain't much, but let's look it up just to be sure. Alright, so I was wrong. Torque specs are 7 to 9 foot-pounds. I'm going to cut that in half. I'm going to do 8 all the way across. Got my torque wrench here. I already got it set to 8 foot-pounds. And we're just going to go, you know, back and forth, torque it down evenly, and we can call this done. So, well, let's get torquing. Alright guys, so that is it. We are completed on this. Got everything torqued down to specs. Like I said, it's calling for 7 to 9 foot-pounds. I just split it down the middle. I did 8 foot-pounds on everything. We'll probably have pull out. It's one of these three, maybe this one. I don't remember. For the shifter, there's a little bracket goes bolts up here and everything. But we won't mess with that until the transmission's in the car. But do have that done now. Was really easy to do. Here's the paper. I mean, it just slides right in like so. And like I said, I didn't use this new one here. I don't trust it. I hate to pull all that out just because that new seal leaks. But the old one looked fine, so just reused them. But we did put a new plug in. Got that done. And tomorrow the converter will be here from what it's showing online. So actually getting that a little bit early. I was expecting that for another week. Not using the stock 6R80 converter, the truck converter. I have a special converter made for this transmission for this car. So I think that's the most exciting part. That's why I'm most excited about it, I guess. This is the converter. But the new converter is going to be sweet. Triple disc. I mean, they're triple disc anyway, but triple disc converter. It's a lot higher stall. It's going to be awesome with this transmission. It's going to be great at the track. So I'm going to tell you that they basically gave them all the specs to the car and everything. They built it to that. So we are done so far with the transmission. Next, we're probably going to work on getting either the shifter, the low car shifter put in, or we'll work on the bracket and stuff. But I'm probably going to lean on doing this because I need to get this in. I like to get this in before I stop the transmission in. So, but guys, I'm going to wrap this video here. Hopefully I threw enough information out there to help you out if you want to swap out the thermostat. Take stock thermostat out, put one in. Got flow all the time. And seals, unfortunately we didn't get to use new seals, but it is what it is. Luckily the old ones were in really good shape and didn't see any crack or anything in them, so we're good there. And new gasket. And we got the pan put on, everything's torqued down. We are good to go. So, guys, like I said, I'm going to wrap this video here. Hopefully you like it. Please leave me a like, subscribe. And, until next time, I'll see y'all on part 3 on the 6RA swap. Take care, guys.